So happy New Year. My oven broke.
Oh, what a way to kick off 2026. Hi, I'm
And
Sarah,
I'm Candice.
and welcome to Don't Start.
And as we like to say, don't start.
Candice, save it for the show.
Exactly. So let's get to it.
I had to think about that for a second. Like we've said before, sometimes you get caught up where you forget the year and you have to keep saying it, like write the wrong check. By the way, checks are going away, I think.
I was like, are you kidding? 2026? We're going to start with an oven breaking. And Tom and I had this whole, like, I don't know if you do this with Chad, but we do this. We have like this, I don't want to use the word powwow. It's not a great word, but it's like a sit down. And we're like, every year we do it. And we're like, all right, this year we're starting to look at the taxes again. And okay, Candace and Tom, you ordered in way too much. You went out to dinner way too much. And so Tom and I were like, definitely went out to dinner way too much this past year. So like let's reel it back. Let's do a lot of more home cooking, even though we did, but let's do even more. And then the oven, and I have the double ones, so they both go.
I mean, if that's not fate, I don't know what is.
So universe, are you trying to tell me that I'm supposed to just keep going out?
Okay, so this is what I'm going to say in that response, because I do think I told you 2026 was supposed to be my year of frugality.
Frugality.
Remember, I was like,
Yeah.
and please, I just paid off a credit card bill, and I was like, you're not doing it, and it's a weekend. But I'm going on a trip for work, so I'm like, I need more warm clothes and outfits. But I would say, and I think this is what's happening in society, is we are less social creatures. So if you and Tom go out to dinner, and I'm not just saying because you and I are trying to do a dinner
Yeah,
date,
we've
but as we are assuming right now for our
we
our
couldn't make it work.
podcast, if that's an example, I actually think that is a good resolution for 2026 is go out, see friends, be more date night with you and Tom is so very
So
important.
very important. But then, like, I had these moments when I looked at my, because we do taxes early, where I was like, we didn't need to take Maverick to this fancy Charlie's restaurant like 5 times this past year. Like, why did we do that?
We went to Charlie's this past
It's
week.
so
I went
good.
with my mom.
Shout out to Charlie's in Lincroft. There's also one in,
And I go to the Charlie's in
there's one in
Bayhead.
Bayhead. They're so
We're giving a
good.
shout out, and they still had Christmas stuff
Yeah,
up.
it's
And it was
gorgeous.
glamorous and gorgeous. And my mother's like, can I get this person to come decorate my
Yeah,
house?
no, it's freaking,
Really
you're
spectacular.
right. It is spectacular. So, but I just was like fate with the oven. And by the way, like, I don't know if this is the world today, but like my dad's like, that should be able to be fixed in 2 days. No, the guy was like, I can get to you next Friday. I was like, next Friday.
That's insanity,
Um,
right? I think this is something that I'm going to say for kids growing
yeah.
up, that trade school is going to be something that is going to have so much value because people don't know how to fix these
You know what?
things.
That's a really good point. Trade school. I think when you and I, and correct me if you feel differently, but I think when we were growing up, it was like, no, college, college. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe college if that's really for you, but also a freaking trade that AI can't do. Like, I mean,
Right.
that's a
Yeah. So
thing.
like mechanic, like your
Yeah.
father that worked in a garage. My dad worked in a garage. My dad said, who was a retired cop, he said if he had known in high school, because it would starts in high school, like a magnet
Yes.
academy. My mother taught at that.
Yes.
So my mother's school had performing arts, pre-med. She did commercial art design, but they have like
Yes.
woodworking, all of that
Yes.
kind of
All of
stuff.
that.
And I think it's the stuff I think we forget about. You and I don't forget about
No,
performing,
no.
but when we're told to keep going for our
Yes.
education, which is so beyond costly, I think trade is going to be a major thing of need. And obviously, you're going to get a week till you can get your oven
A
fixed.
week. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like a trade school is a really cool thing, but it's going to take me a week to fix my freaking oven. Um,
So Tom's not going to give it a shot.
Sarah, please. Do
My
we need a
brother
bigger
did.
problem? Because now
I
there's
was
going to
going
be
to
a hole
say
in the
that's what
wall.
happened. Yes, that's what happened with Mark. Mark, I think, my brother, his oven went, and I think he tried to fix it and then, lost a
Yeah,
part or something like that.
the thing
The door
was,
wouldn't close. I feel like the door fell
you know
off and
what?
couldn't close.
I'm a little ghetto. I might even deal with the door not closing. It wouldn't, it turned on, it did the broil, after about 5 seconds, all of a sudden F97 was flashing on the screen of the oven. And I'm like, what does that mean? And here Tom and I are
Yeah.
asking chat, we're Googling, we're asking Copilot, all the
Yeah.
things. What is this? And clearly it's the fan or whatever. And I was like, first of all, we cannot do this ourselves. There's so many things we try to do ourselves in this house. And like, we're those people. We'll
When
YouTube it.
fire and
Yes. I'm
gasoline
freaked out by
is,
that shit. I'm like,
we
nope,
don't do
nope.
that.
When Tom says to me, like, if he's at work and I'm home and he's like, can you go turn the breaker off? I'm like, no, I don't like these jobs because I'm going to touch something that's going to short circuit something and I'm going to blow up.
So so we had something go off, if too many people are like blow drying their hair or hot irons and
Yeah.
like all the power tools going. So something went out when Chad's mom was visiting and Chad was at work and I was like, you just flipped the one that flipped the other way. And I guess like Chad's mom said, Jerry, used to tell her, do not touch anything and don't flip something. And if you don't know, because I didn't know which one was flipped, and Chad's like, no, you could be turn something on that wasn't even being used and yada yada.
That scares me when they say flip the other way because I mean, when I lived in LA, our what is it? The fire codes and everything were so old. All the everything was so old, and it was also electric, not gas. So when you'd have to,
Yeah.
it would say the same thing. They'll flip the other way, and that would freak me out because I'm like, am I gonna blow up me and my neighbor and the person above me? Like, I just didn't like it.
That part is just like a switch.
The house freaks me
But
out.
I'm not gonna lie, my father, this one time he was changing a light fixture in the chandelier in our kitchen, and literally it like burst in flames. And then my niece, who was like a little baby, still tells that story, like Christmas fire. And so then my brother was home for Thanksgiving and started doing the same at the
Oh
new
my
house.
God.
And it literally blew. And I was like, we shut off electricity if we are dealing with like damaged
No, this is
lights.
why
Like,
you're right. A trade school is super important. We don't have, my mom says this thing all the time, and she's right. She's like, we don't have a doctor in the family. We don't have a plumber. What is wrong with us? I was like, you know what? What
yeah.
is wrong with us? Because wait, my dad's the mechanic. Anything with a car, my dad can tell you immediately. But
Yeah, but he's not good a handyman in the
he's
house.
okay. But
Oh,
he's
okay.
always been the type where he's like, I'll try it. And then if he can't do it, he's, you got to get a guy here. I
Yeah.
got a guy. But he always had a guy.
Yeah.
That's such an Italian thing, too. Like, I got a guy. I got a guy.
I don't think that's Italian. I think that's just being a smart human that has a
No,
guy.
Italians own that shit. I got a guy. I got a guy. But like, don't you
I'm
feel like
not.
that?
I'm not taking that. That's a Northeasterner
Do you
thing.
feel like
Not, and I would like to say this. I am here to make a
make
statement.
that statement?
Not everybody from the Northeast is
Sarah,
Italian.
I think you're
Just because we
wrong.
talk similar. You're such a. Speaking of that, can I pivot?
Yeah.
I would like to make a shout out to this brand that you are always the Italian bread show, your one woman
Oh God,
show.
we're talking about it.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
when
get
this is
very
coming out
flushed.
or when is this coming out. We don't
We're
know
talking
yet.
about it. Yeah, January 27th. We know. It's
But is this going to come out before?
like the special. No, it's January 27th. You can, I think you can.
No, this episode of Don't
Oh,
Start.
this episode. Yes, it will come out before the January 27th.
Okay, great. So, hello. And if we're going to talk about you claiming everything to be
I might as
Italian,
well.
I need to pivot right
Oh my God.
now to Italian
Yes.
bread because you have
Yeah.
honestly, it's been what you've been fighting
Oh.
for, what you've been, and I'm not fighting, passionate
No, there
about,
were some fights.
driven
There was some
by.
fights.
There have been some good fights. It wouldn't be an Italian show if there weren't a little bit of some fights.
There was a lot of hell.
But the show itself is going to be on Apple and Amazon
Dude.
on the 27th of this
You,
month. How are you feeling? I want to talk about
you
it.
do?
You told me you wanted to talk about other
I did.
things. This is what I want to talk about this month. It's the only thing it should be talked
You're
about.
so kind. Obviously, I love you for being always you, but you know, also being along the ride. You've seen the up, the down. You were there when I years ago was like, I need a place to stay in Florida. I have a
Yeah.
show and I don't know if I could sell any tickets and all the things. I'm nervous, I'm excited, I'm relieved because I think there was a bit of me that was like, oh God, you know, you produced this thing you never knew how to do. And I hope it sells somewhere. I hope it actually gets to see the
Yeah.
light of day because you just don't freaking know in this business. So I'm relieved it's going to be out there and excited about that and really grateful for all the people that worked on it too, because so many people worked on shooting this special. From our
Yeah.
director Sam to our editor Brett Katz. I mean, our camera crew that I had like 15 camera guys. It was just amazing. So I always want those people to get their moments too, because they work a lot and they don't get a lot of credit but work's been drying up lately in the business for comedy
Yeah.
specials and things because, a lot of it can be done, on an iPhone, AI, and all these things. So I'm really grateful for that.
But Candice, I have to ask
Yeah.
you, do you remember the year that you started putting this show on stage?
You know, a, a version of it, my very first version was 2014 or
Yeah.
yeah,
So to
2014.
talk about
Yeah.
that in itself, that it,
First
and I
version.
think this, yeah, and I think this is an important thing, and you and I talk about it a lot with
Yeah.
projects, with getting things on the ground and getting things made and getting things produced, to getting it on Apple and Amazon. That's a dozen years,
It took a
and,
while.
and you never gave up, and that, I mean, a round of applause, a standing ovation, and I can't wait to do it from my
My couch,
couch.
please tell everyone from their couch. But you're right. Like, I think I had this interview, and I'm just going to be open about it. Like, the person interviewing me was super sweet, but they were like, "Well, it's taking a while." And I had this moment where I was like, "Well, I got really insecure about it." And then, I think about things we talk about, and then I had a conversation with Tom and a couple other, close people in my life, and they were like, why don't we normalize that? They're like, why are we acting like success is overnight just because of, the fame of social media? All of a sudden you're a star.
Yeah,
And Tom's like,
right.
that's,
It goes
yeah,
viral.
or something goes viral. And then all of a
But
sudden
let's
you have
talk
a
about
platform.
that. Viral does not mean a marathon career. Viral means a flash in the pan,
Oh, that's such a
right?
good way of putting it. So I think I had a moment where I was like, shit, I'm not a flash in the pan, which I'm grateful for. Like, I'm grateful I've done the work, but I also was like, I had a minute of being like embarrassed because I was like, oh shit, I'm not overnight. I'm not overnight. And Tom was like, you should be proud of that. I'm like, but am I? Because I want to
Uh-huh.
just be overnight sometimes.
And you know what? I think there's a sex appeal to being like, remember when Sutton Foster did Thoroughly Modern Millie?
Yes.
It was like they acted like she was a brand new theater person,
Right.
and it just wasn't the case. So it's whether it's marketing, and there are people that just like, I think, go viral or have an opportunity
Something
that's
happens, right?
yes, right. And that there is luck. There is the step
Yes.
in, you step in shit.
Yes.
We're
I
like, let's say lots of
I didn't step in shit.
uh
I joke with my mom with that all the
no, it's
time. I've
hard
pooped on the
work.
floor myself and then I've stepped in it. Like, it's like I literally have to
Oh
do
my
it. Yeah,
God, that's a crazy
it is.
saying.
It doesn't make any
But
sense.
the thing that I would say that I find to be admirable is you found something that you were very passionate about, put a hard work into it. For me, I find value in
Yeah.
that. But that's because I'm somebody that loves the process, that loves the dedication, but the art, the
Yes.
craft,
It was really important. Yeah.
polishing, reworking it.
Yes. It was really important to me in general to not just try it out. I needed to like understand what this craft was for me, not a stand-up
Yeah.
comedian. I'm not just a theater performer. And I say that in a wonderful, positive way. What I mean by that is I would have been fine with a Broadway career, credits and loving. I would have been great, but that's just not how it worked for me. So I had to find the avenue. And then like I would have loved to have just been a stand-up comedian and knock it out of the park, but it's not my talent. It's not what I do. So I had to sort of bridge this gap of musical theater and comedy. And it's sort of weird because you're like, I'm in my own lane, but it's also sort of cool because it's like a storytelling
Yeah.
lane that,
Well, it's long form
yes,
stand up, long form comedy.
yes,
But there's a performance element.
yes, very much.
It was interesting last night, Golden Globes were
Yes,
on, and gosh, I want to remember Rose Byrne just won
yes.
an award, but it was comedy musical. And she got up there, was like, and she's like, there was no singing in the show. It's an interesting place that we don't know what to call it.
So
So, like, even the
funny.
Golden Globes don't know.
Yeah, you're totally right. And there's also some categories too where I'm like, that's not a comedy, and
Oh yeah, The Bear is not a
blows
comedy.
my
Everybody stands
mind.
by it. Just because you're telling an honest story with humor does not make it a comedy. And let me tell you, those are the films and stories and TV that I
Yeah.
love. Give me that honest story because me and you talk about it all the
Yeah.
time. If I don't laugh at some of my tragedies, I will never survive this
I mean,
life.
I'm with you. That's half the reason I do the storytelling I do and the performance I do is because I literally am like, I have to laugh through this dramatic awfulness right now. Because if I don't, I'm not going to make it through. So I'm
Yeah.
100% with you. And I think the industry is constantly evolving, but I hope they can recognize things that are true. So when Rose Byrne called that out, I'm like, oh, yeah, dude, like you're right. Like there is
Yeah.
giving not I'm not saying she didn't deserve it. I think she's fantastic.
Oh, I haven't seen the
She's
movie yet,
fantastic as
but she's
yeah, she's so
hysterical,
funny.
isn't she? And she's
Yeah.
brilliant. Like, I really think she's one of those special categories where, like,
Oh, I
Bridesmaid,
know.
how great was
She
she
was
in
so
that?
great. So I do think she's well deserved of those awards. I think the categories are a little funny. And there's now a podcast category, which is it's
Oh,
awesome,
yeah.
but it also blows my mind. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. I did
And it was Amy Poehler took the
she
win,
did.
took the victory. But I want to ask
Yeah.
you, because I think there was something going viral
Yeah.
recently with the White Lotus star
Yeah.
about being a name to work on Broadway. Did you see that post from her?
Oh, wait. I think
I
did you
want to bring
send
it
this
up.
to me? Because it was like
I think you posted
yeah, I
it.
think I reposted it from you or something. It was very much about how a Broadway star is what's needed in a Broadway show to make it stay afloat.
A Hollywood star.
I'm sorry, correction, Hollywood star
No,
to
no.
make it stay afloat, a Broadway show.
Was it Carrie Coon that
Yeah.
said it?
Oh, yes. She's so fantastic. And she's, by the way, her husband's a playwright and she's in the play. And yes, her current Broadway show just got extended two
It's
weeks. And I think she feels that way
Bug.
because
Yeah.
she's a name. But
She said because she was on
the
White
White Lotus
Lotus.
made her name. And this before White Lotus, Carrie Coon was working like a crazy person and had an amazing resume. So White Lotus was not her like overnight success. That girl's been working, but sometimes like,
So that's what we're
yeah,
talking about. When you were saying it took me a
yeah,
while, you're like, and you were like, I was ashamed. You're like, no, no. And this is a thing with our
yeah,
industry. And I always have a pet peeve when people are like, oh, they were trying to make it. That person was
working.
working.
Like that's so funny you
Like,
said that because
just because they didn't get a Golden Globe, just
right.
because they're not a famous name,
Yes.
just because, and I'm like, how many other companies, or sorry,
Yeah.
businesses,
Yeah.
industries, do you say that to
You
somebody?
don't.
Did you
If
make
their
it?
bagel store is
'Cause
still has a line out the window, excuse me,
they made
if their
it.
bagel store has a line out the door, right? And then they're not viral or they don't have a place on in social media, you don't say, "Oh, they didn't make it." You literally are like, "They're making it. They're making
It's the
freaking
Shriver
bank."
Bagel store that's coming in like at least a decade. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
you
not
want a
ready to
bagel
wake up that
store? Okay,
early.
okay. I get
Yeah.
it. I get it.
And then like, but also like my brother worked in the same hospital for 2 decades. Like, what a great
You
career.
made
You
it.
made it.
It's such a good
But like,
point.
we don't question it based off of being on television as a regular
Right.
name. And it's like, there are people that work in commercials
Yes.
nonstop. There are people that do voiceovers nonstop,
Yes.
you
It's
know?
such a great point. I love that you bring that up because I feel like now I got a little bit of like it's finally happening. It's like I've been working, but it just because it's not an overnight success in an hour, people are like, "Oh, this is new for you." I'm like, "This isn't new. I've been here."
So can I ask you a question? Because I find myself to be like this, because you and I have worked professionally 2 decades,
Yeah.
right? And I've done a variety of different things. But it's funny because people are shocked now that they see me in a commercial for Jacuzzi. And I
Yes.
get talked about it all
Is
the
it, are they
time.
like,
And it is on all the time. And I'm like, I've been on TV and
I
this TV show, this show,
know.
I have done
Yes,
work
I
on
get it.
HSN,
Yeah.
or I have been on WWE
Yeah.
for 8 years. And then they see a commercial all the time that they're like, wow, Sarah, I see you all the time. And I'm like sort of shamed because I'm like, it's a commercial that pops up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting. But it's just the
It
culture,
is the
right?
culture. I think there's such a recognition thing. Are you holding a Golden Globe?
Yes.
Is there a star on your show? On your,
Are you on a
are you
jacuzzi
on a
commercial? Are
jacuzzi
you?
commercial? And like, I think I'm like you, I think I'm feeling it for the first time because I'm getting like, I'm going to call it notice, but because it's actually, Tom said to me, tangible, it's real, it's out there. All of a sudden you're legitimized, but I've felt legitimized for many years because I feel like you said, we've made a career, we've made money, and I'm
Yeah,
so grateful. I maybe have just been doing it on a quieter note or whatever. And
yeah.
I think this industry will do that to you. Macaulay Culkin said something interesting recently. He said this thing where he goes, I don't buy into the whole thing of I'm standing here with an Oscar. I'm in the best movie. I just won an award. And then critics ask the question, what's next? He's like, I don't buy into
Yeah.
that. He's like, I don't buy into that because this is what's right now. And this is what I put my life into, whatever that is. And if there's a next, great. If not, I'm not buying into that something has to be next.
So I'll never forget a conversation. I could not agree more, right? About celebrating your present. I went to go see a friend in a Broadway show, and I went out afterwards to have drinks, and it was all Broadway performers. And that was the conversation the entire time.
Oof.
As someone just like me and you who think, and what a privilege and honor to be on
Oh
Broadway.
gosh, yes.
But like you and I know, and like these performers know, that it never
No.
lasts. And we always have to keep
Yeah.
looking. And so our work is traditionally finding the
Yeah.
work. However, in those moments of asking, first of all, there's a pressure from another performer, what's next?
Yeah. So
When
much
you're
pressure.
like, wait, I just started a Broadway
Yeah.
show.
I
Like,
just won an
let's
award. Like, what's happening here?
let's take a
Yeah, of
step
course.
back and but that's the society, that's the industry. And so maybe we all should be a little kinder about that. But
Yes.
I think that's insecurity, that's
That's
competition, that's
all of it.
pressure.
But I fall into
Yeah.
it. And what I mean by that is I'm
Yeah, we
literally
do.
been like, okay, the next show and making, writing the scripts already. Or if like, I've sold several scripts in the last few years. And I'm always like, okay, what's the next one? What's the next one? Because you're always moving. And that's a good thing.
Course, you're not going to sit on that. You need, and especially when having a great, having this exposure,
Yes.
having this
I know what you're saying.
exposure,
Right.
you utilize the
Yes.
momentum.
And I think we're both so great at supporting each other with that. Like we know what that is. We know what that momentum looks like. And we're like, okay, follow the
Yeah.
wave. Okay, go with it for a minute. And then whatever it is, it is. And then you move on to the next thing. So I do think there's a healthy thing about what's next, what's next. But there's a very unhealthy way that the rest of the world looks at it. I don't know if other people feel this in professions, but I sometimes we think it's never enough. And it's like, I just got to keep going and then keep doing. And would hope there's a moment we can all be like, so I'm trying my best to be like, great, I'm going to celebrate that my freaking theatrical
Yeah.
comedy special is coming out because I don't think I've ever
Wait,
celebrated.
are you going to hold like a screening?
Oh my God. So many people have asked me that. No, I was just gonna like
No,
hide in my bathroom and be like, please God, let people watch it.
no. We got to talk about this. I think they do like
Do I need a big fancy party?
you love
I do,
parties.
but this didn't seem like something that I should put a party
I
to.
want to be to that. I want to go there now. I shall bring champagne and lasagna.
Lasagna and champagne, exactly.
I'm not, the Schreiber's not bringing lasagna. I need an I at the end of my name to
No,
bring
you're
lasagna.
allowed. Remember, just because you don't have an I at the end of the name, you're
I'm
you're
not
you're an honorary.
Italian.
You're in. But that's the other thing too.
No, I cannot cook Italian. I'm not
It's
great with that. I'm
fine.
going
You
to
don't
be
have to cook
honest.
Italian, but it's for me, it's more like it's such a family
But I
event.
do want to take this moment to give you a big
I love
bravo.
you. Thank you. You feel very exposed because everything you've worked for is about to be out there in a way that's bigger
Well,
than
I'll
you've
tell
ever
you, I
done.
feel
Tell
exposed.
me.
Fans have my phone number
Oh,
and
that's
people call me.
weird.
I feel exposed on the other side of things. Oh, you want to know why I feel
Tell
exposed?
me.
Even more so. You got me. The other day, I posted a picture at work
Yeah.
where I'm with the microphone leaning in, being like, back on the
Super
road.
cute. Yeah.
And somebody put Grok on X, is like the AI. Grok put her in a Hulk Hogan bikini.
What?
And there's a picture of me in a
But
bikini.
it's not you.
And isn't this what's messed up about the world?
What?
They're seriously going after this because
Well, I have a really important question.
of young, underage.
Yes,
There's a lot of
that
issues. But
I
here, there
understand.
you go.
But Sarah,
That is not my
but
boobs.
no, it's not your boobs. But Sarah, you look great.
I love that they didn't make me too skinny.
No, I think you look amazing. I actually don't mind if some.
But this is the picture. We could pose these, I guess.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
the picture, I'm like in a
crazy.
full suit, and then they put me in a bikini. So if we want to talk about
That,
exposed, be
but you're not,
careful.
it's not you. It's not you. And what I mean by that, thank God it's not your
But
body.
I love one of the producers was like, "Let me see that," and I was like, "It's not my body.
That's
We don't know
crazy.
anymore."
That's crazy. I give anyone listening full permission to put me in a very hot bikini because I shot this special
Be
Like,
careful what you ask
I'm
for.
okay with it because I shot the special a few months postpartum, and now looking back at the tape,
Oh,
I was like, oh, we did more Spanx. Like I did it as a way of being like, I'm gonna do this because of the journeys and everything that led me to this moment. I felt really proud in the moment. Now looking back, I still feel really proud. I'm just a little judgy because there's some fupa there, and I wore Spanx.
did you ever try to do a double spank?
Well, it's funny you say that.
I know, I don't know if I have, but I would
No,
surely
no,
try
I
it.
tried. And then during rehearsal, I felt like I was going to pass out 20 minutes
I
in.
can't
And I
breathe.
was like,
It's
fuck.
the modern day corset.
I'm like, I can't. I'm up here for 90 minutes. I can't. I didn't, and so I only did the one layer. I needed the double. But so everyone be kind to to me postpartum. But
Oh,
it was like, put me in the bikini, AI. You can. I give you permission.
oh
But I
my
don't give
goodness.
permission using someone's voice and likeness and all that craziness. But anyway,
Yeah.
that
I
blows
mean,
my
that
mind.
was so the thing is, I had a moment the other night laying in bed on the road, and I was just like really scared about the future with AI and technology and being like wiped away. And
You're not going to be
I want
wiped
to be
away.
positive, but I just think we already have a problem with honest, truthful narrative that we are seeing videos that people are sharing online that are fake.
Yeah.
So Chad the other day showed me a beautiful, uplifting video
Yeah.
about a rhino and a deer playing at a zoo,
Yeah.
and it's adorable. And he goes, I almost didn't send it. He goes, I didn't send it to you because I thought it could be fake. And now it's on everything and it's real
It's
and it's
real.
charming and adorable. But isn't that what are your thoughts on it?
It scares me too. The most it scares me about is I'm not scared about being erased. I'm not scared about us being erased yet. I'm more scared that the true levels of storytelling have gone out the window. And what I mean by that is I've also gotten, hey, when we're editing your footage, we can AI your body. We can AI this. And I was like,
Well, we shouldn't say I. Can't we just say like what we used to say, Photoshop?
Photoshop. But this has gone a step further because, hey, I can
I
do that to
know.
your face. And I'm like, oh, but you know what? My face makes this funny expression when I say this word. And now when you put it through whatever, I lose that. And the essence of true storytelling goes out the window. And that sort of bothers me when I'm looking at someone. I'm like, is she really talking? Or is it like that gets me because I want the raw. I do like the ugly, not the ugly, but the realness of it all. That is so important to me. So I joke about,
Yeah.
postpartum, but I really wanted to do that because that was very real and that's who I am. But also I don't want to lose that in our world. I don't want to lose that
Yeah.
real side. I want to look at a picture of
But
you and know it's you.
yeah, but I don't know if we can trust it.
No,
And
we
I will
can't.
say, well, we both know that we both have utilized these
Oh
things.
no.
We are not absolutely saying bah humbug, we don't believe. We've
I
gotten headshots since we were probably 10 years old where they've done it old school,
I was just
like
gonna say that.
photoshopping.
I 100% have texted you in the very recent and been like, Sarah, fix my line on my face. Cause like, I don't know how to do it. Or if I, downloaded an app, I'm not great at it or whatever. We've each done it. And that I'm okay with. But I like I said, whatever makes you feel good. But if it gets to the point where like the storytelling and like you said, am I watching something completely AI of a baby dancing in a mirror that made me feel so good that I'm like, oh, it's fake.
Well, I had a moment when I was in Egypt with mom. We were sitting in a cocktail piano bar, and there was a band of four people up on the screen. And I was almost certain that it was AI
Mm.
because they all were in like their own screen, and it felt very fake. I did look them up, and I think it came out that they were a group. I still don't know if I believe that that video was real or not. And
Yeah.
that's why are we questioning that? That's it's going to get scary.
I know. And so,
If we're not even at the best it could
oh,
be,
I know. That's the truth. We aren't because sometimes, as we all know, you'll put something through chat or
yeah,
Copilot, and you're like, this looks weird, or whatever it is. And but I do think there are great things you can utilize chat and those things for. I just would rather it not be for the entertainment purposes of where actors lose jobs and storytelling gets screwed up and that sort of thing. That
and that's
that's
why I think
drives me
that you and
crazy.
I love live
Oh,
performance. You
love it.
cannot fake it. And
Yes.
that's something in itself. So for me, I think in the new year in 2026, I would like to not lean on ChatGPT or
Ooh.
AI as much because I do find myself going to it
Yeah.
too quickly.
Too quickly. You and I had this conversation. Cursive and, script, handwriting, cursive, and spelling is going out the window with the younger generation. They don't even know how to spell correctly. They don't know how to write correctly or even in a cursive form, a script form. And it's because of things like chat and typing on a phone. And I would hate those things to be lost. So I think that's a great resolution to be like, I am going to do my best to remain a smart human that is
Yeah.
using their mental health. Because that's the thing too. Our brain
Our
needs to
mental
be
brain
used.
power. Yeah.
Yes,
My mother used to do crosswords every night before she went to
that's
sleep.
great.
I don't. She doesn't
I,
anymore.
I've
But
never done it. I should
no,
probably
I'm not into
start.
crosswords, to be quite
I mean,
honest. But I
remember,
have been very focused on reading. I like reading and challenging my brain with
love
that.
it.
And I think that's very important. My nieces love reading, but I do believe that as we rely on our
Yeah.
phones, there was a great thing of like, it's a crutch. It's like part of us
Yes.
now. And so if we keep using that crutch, we're not utilizing one part of our brain, and that brain is not going, it's like a muscle.
100%.
When you're in a cast,
Yep.
it's gonna not get
I know.
strong.
I always think
And
of like Maverick when he's staring at me. If I'm sitting in the play yard or if we're in his playroom and we're sitting down on the floor and he's playing, if I have my phone in my hand, I'm like, he's going to think this is an extension of my arm. So I never have it. But when I
yeah,
do, I notice he's looking not at the phone, but like sort of at me, like, Mom, what are you doing? So it's
yeah.
nothing makes you more aware of your phone than being around kids because you're like, oh, wow. Because they get
Yeah.
sucked into it quicker than we do.
Babies, right? Like how,
Babies. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I used to see like when people talk about with the iPads, how babies would be able to swipe and move. I think there's a power that's necessary. It's like you and I growing up. If we didn't know how to use a computer, you're going to be lost in the left in the
I mean,
dust.
my mother threw us in front of the computer. She'd be like, look it up, look it up.
Yeah. But remember when we used to go to the library, the Dewey Decimal System?
My parents bought the
And
Britannica. Remember the Britannicas?
yeah. And now they went up and like warmed everybody. They were when toilet paper was low, you were like during pandemic, you're like, we got the Britannicas.
Wait, I'm making me laugh really hard. I'm gonna pivot to my January 2026. I should say January, my 2026. I'm gonna embrace whatever life has to offer and not question it because I always question. I should have went left. I should have went right. I'm not looking over the fence anymore. I think that's such a Candice 2021 girl, and I have to, or even 2017 or whatever. I've
But
always
you
looked over
don't
the
bel
fence.
but you don't believe that, you know, in whether failures, choices, misses, rejections, uh, different decisions, it didn't bring you to exactly where you are. It's the
I
sliding
believe that
door.
now. Yes, you're right. I believe that now, but I do think to move forward where I am to where I want to go, I think looking over the fence is something that has to like really be quieted in my life. And I don't do it a lot, but when I
Yeah.
do, I get it in an icky tunnel place and I'm like, this is an ugly place. No, I don't like this. Like or I notice it affects Tom or Maverick or something and I'm like, oh, no, no. So I do think that's something I want to really hold
And
for
by looking at the
2026.
over the fence, is it in the past or are you looking at comparing? Is
A
it
little bit
comparison?
of both. I've
Yeah.
gotten much better with, comparison. I think in my early teens and 20s, comparison was a big deal. But
Yeah.
also I grew up as a dancer, as you know. So you're staring in front of you, you're comparing yourself, to the person next to you. They're putting you in line. So that mentality
Yes,
sticks with you.
Candace, you and I auditioning, and we'd have to stand next to each
Yeah.
other in a line,
Yeah.
physically looking at one another in a mirror,
In the mirror.
doing a double pirouette or a time step
Yep.
or whatever dance
Yep.
routine. Everything is comparison, competition.
Yes.
So
And I was always the
I,
curvy girl on the end. I'm like, oh
oh,
shit.
and you know what? When it was right, it's going to be exactly right. Right.
I believe that
I will
now.
never not be curvy. I was always a curvy girl.
It's just
Um,
there's no way out. I used to say that
but yeah, go
I used
ahead.
to say that all the time. I'm like, why do I have to be so curvy? And Tom was like, but it's amazing. I'm like, not when you're dancing.
Yeah. What did I like last night? I was sitting next to Chad and basically it was like, I love being curvy. Keep my boobs, keep my butt, but the waist could get a little tinier
Dude,
recently.
dude, yeah.
That's been a tough one that I thought would just be like easy forever. And it was for a long time. And then all of a sudden, poof,
On life, man.
this is hard now in the core.
It's yeah, she's a little different. Once I hit
Your body is different.
35, she got different.
Yeah,
Once
I would
she
say
got different.
38 to 40.
She got different. And then, having a child just adds to it. But like before the child,
Yeah.
things were different. I was like, who are you? Okay, you're still curvy, but yeah, the tummy needs the help. But because we have resolutions, you know what they say? The second Friday in January, everyone throws their resolutions out the window. But we're not making our resolutions before the second January Friday. So I think we're going to be okay.
We're gonna be okay. But I'd like to announce something. Our John Edward episode is going through the roof. Thank you. We're just going to give a shout out to John. Thank you for all your promotion. Thank you
Um,
for your time, but also thanks for all the John Edward fan that are now joining us.
dude, that's like it was no joke that
I didn't mean to make a strong pivot. I got a text message, instant notification about we just keep the numbers keep going up
no,
on those
the
downloads.
downloads are amazing. Every time I like look at it, we were texting each other like
Yeah.
people keep listening. I love it. So people have always listened to us, but it's really exciting when you get like a boost because then you feel like you're reaching more. And then hopefully our next couple episodes, the more fun people and exciting people we have episodes with, their stories can get told. And that's just exciting for us. I mean, that's why we want to do this.
And I also think like John's career went over 3 decades.
Oh, I
So to
know.
talk about what we were just saying, it's interesting with WWE. I've been there 8 years and now I have new talent coming in now and I'm working with them. So when we were talking about, overnight success, that's never been our story. And when I joined WWE, I was 35 years old.
Yeah, girl.
So I had already had my career out of college from 21 to 35.
Yeah.
And I didn't hit my stride of like, by stride, I mean a
Yeah.
salary position with a 401k and having
Yeah.
legitimacy on a regular television show, over 100 episodes on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
But now I'm working with people that are new in the company.
Yes.
And I try to remind them because they want it now. They want it
I
instant.
know.
And I'll say I was very lucky. I was there for a month and then I was on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT right away, which
Right.
was very cool and unexpected. But to be patient in your talent, your
Be
success,
patient.
because you want to do the long
Yep.
game.
You really do. I will go back to what we talked about earlier.
Financially, it's better
It's
the more
a
years.
100% is better. And I will tell you, if you do the long game, nothing throws you as much
Great.
because when you do the short game and you're just thrusted into it, I think things come at your way and you don't know how to handle it. When you do the long game and you've been through some crap, and I mean, this business is shady. And it's also really wonderful. There's wonderful people and there's really shady people. And I've been through the dirt with a lot of it. You know how to handle it when it comes a little later, when it comes not overnight. I have this wonderful friend. Her name's Jordan Palos. She's fantastic at her job. She's a PR agent, but she also was like, anyone who's like an overnight success, she's like, we always have to remember behind it is 10 to 15 years. No one realizes that. She's like, we're going to spin it in PR. However,
Yeah.
she's like, but the reality of it is most of the time, it really is a lot of back work that you haven't seen, working quietly. And that's okay. I don't think I never wanted recognition for 30 years straight. Like I never wanted that. I like quietly working behind the scenes and then having pop-up moments. But I do think all of our egos want to be up there. That's why young people want it
Yeah.
right now, right? And it's really hard with social media. You think people are having it right now, and you think people are overnight successes, but are they? I don't know their life. I don't know their at-home stories.
A lot of the people that are experts that we spoke to have been getting their education, getting their
That's right.
doctorate, doing the work,
Doing the work.
working at
That's
clinics,
right.
like working in the hospital or, whatever their craft is, whatever their talent, what they've been pursuing. We've gotten that stories from a lot of people.
That's right.
And a lot of the people we've been bringing on, I think that's why we're doing that. With the hard work, with the time, I think there's a lot more to celebrate. I couldn't agree more that if it is to happen to you in your 20s, It's a hard one to stay grounded
Yeah,
in.
I was a mess.
But would I have loved to have had that? Million, trillion, gazillion percent at that. I would have loved to have been
Can I tell
immediately
you why?
in it, but I would have been a different
I was
person.
just going to
I
say
would
that
be a different person.
you would have been a different Sarah, and that's fine. I would have been a different Candice. The only reason, it's not the only, but the biggest reason that sticks out in my brain why I wanted it to happen, in my 20s, clothes just fit so much more easily. So if you had to do press and red carpets and things and you had to jump on stage real
Oh,
quick,
I loved it. It
that
was so much
shit just
fun.
popped right on.
Oh, I loved
Now it's
it.
like a goddamn circus. It's a process. I need people. I need everything. And that's where I'm like, shit, I wish this happened in my 20s. That's the only, but it's fine. If that's all it is, then I'll accept it. But that's the
Those
biggest
red
reason.
carpet dresses I can't get rid of, but I can't put it over my leg.
No, 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 no. Honestly, the back of my closet is my 20s. And I'm like, I wore this.
We do this someday.
What? What? Yeah, no, 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 Candace. So yeah, that's the only reason why I wanted the career to pop a little earlier, but it's okay. It pops when it's
Pop.
supposed to. It's pop,
Pop it like it's hot.
drop it like it's hot, baby.
Oh, it's not pop it like it's hot. It's drop it like
I'm
it's
not
hot.
sure. I'm not sure. I love this.
So you got a lot of appearances coming up.
Oh yeah.
What are you you said you're gonna get maybe some extensions. We may throw in some jumpsuits.
No,
Where are we
I
going?
got a
Are you
few
hiring some
I
people?
got a few like big press things, like being on morning TV and stuff. I freaked out immediately. I bought the Bowden jumpsuit. So what's the first thing I did, Sarah, when I knew? I freaked out. I was like, Sarah, help me dress me. Because I think in a
Yeah.
former life, you were probably a stylist of some sort, for sure. Come on, you were.
I mean, I love it, but like you said, it's been harder. But I was on the road, and I know I'm going to be on the road again. So I just went to Fashion Nova, which is something I put over before,
Mm.
and like they have great suits. So I just bought like 6 suits.
You know what? Your
But I'm a
advice,
suit
but your
person.
advice was great. Yeah, I got lucky because we have somewhat of the same like body type ish that we can like,
Yeah.
kind of be like, oh, this worked for me. It might work for you. But you were
Yeah.
so helpful. You were like, okay, jumpsuit, here's some great websites. Here's if you want some hair extensions, here's some great website because
Yeah.
my hair is getting longer again, but I miss my real long hair. But I was like, maybe I'll just do my own hair. There's like a moment where you're like, I do want to look like me. I don't want to look crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
you is absolutely beautiful.
ah, you're
But
the
then we
best.
know that we all can amp it up.
Amp
So,
it up.
we think about people with their wedding days, because this is what I feel
Yes.
is like, I do hair and makeup all the time,
You should do your own.
right? So I like doing it.
Yes.
But I think like wedding day, people put pressure on that because they don't do it all the
They do.
time.
You want to feel like you. I had that issue with wedding gowns when I would go to try on wedding gowns. My mom was like, this one. And I'm like, I look like Cinderella. I don't feel like me. I feel like I'm in a 1920s
Yeah.
vintage musical and I'm in a costume. Like I needed to
Is
just
this
feel
the
like
year that
me.
Sarah plans a wedding?
Don't tease me.
I know. I've found dresses. I have 2
You know
dresses.
what? On top of
I
it,
didn't. They're not here, but that was the first thing I did. Is at least try on dresses. I love putting on dresses.
Candice is planning Sarah's wedding. Don't start. We're not talking about it anymore. That's it. It's happening. Thanks for joining us today.
You can follow us on Instagram at Don't Start Podcast.
Or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'll see you next time, friends.
Don't Start is produced by Anthony Street Productions.